50 years ago, and mostly everyone in this room knows our beginning. And even with this feisty, little 17-year-old with a terrible temper, from the very beginning, you decided to do the right thing. No questions asked. You were 22. And boy, do we have a lot to learn. Yeah.
A legacy is the story of someone's life, the things they did, the places they went, the goals they accomplished, their failures, and much more. So all of us here have been impacted by your story.
For better or worse, that is the value you guys took before God and many witnesses back in 1970. And you have honored that to this day.
Being married for 50 years, raising Heather and Justin and Garrett, is definitely a reason we should be celebrating and recognizing you tonight, because that was quite a feat.
We are standing here tonight celebrating 50 years of marriage because you guys have built your life and your marriage on a faith foundation. So a man or a woman who builds their life on a solid rock will prosper, right? And they will weather adversity. And the Bible tells us a man or woman who builds their life on sand will collapse when the storms of life strike. And I really do believe the same is true in marriage. When a husband and wife build their marriage on solid rock, they will prosper and weather adversity. And when they build it on sand, they're going to collapse when the storms of life strike. And you two have certainly dealt with your fair share of adversity, conflict, challenges. In other words, you've gone through some serious storms. But your family stands here tonight or sits here tonight, grateful that you chose to experience transformation through Jesus, because he is the only foundation from which we can build and sustain.
I wanted to talk about one lesson that I've learned from each of you. And that lesson is nothing of great significance is accomplished if you quit and throw in the towel. The most difficult job I've ever had is being married. Anyone that's married knows it is very, very difficult. But it's a job where not being successful, it's not an option. I'm not defining success as a marriage that doesn't end in divorce. I'm defining it as growing old together, not just loving your spouse, but liking them, sacrificing for one another, giving of your time and talents to help others, opening your home and inviting others in, being present, being available. They're all things that define a successful marriage, and it doesn't happen if you quit.
You raised 4 kids. Stay strong. They're all college educated. They're all married. They're all raising kids. It's probably a big one for me. They all put an honest day of work in.
Pop, thank you for modeling what blue collar, hard work, and service looks like. Mom, thank you for modeling a spiritual life founded on God's word and prayer. I find myself waking up early in the morning and reading my Bible because that's what I saw you do my whole life. I also now find myself, as irritating as it is, waking up in the middle of the night at crazy hours, only to walk over to my kids' rooms and pray over them. And I do that because you modeled that.
With Dodo, just every situation is like glass half full, and that it didn't make sense to me. You don't give people a choice to be negative or in their head. You put your colors out there and you let them seep. And you're not worried about the mess or the splatter. Love is messy, and you're not worried about that. All you want to do is love, and I value that now more than ever, and I'll continue to take value on that.
I have 2 words that I just keep thinking with Pop and Dodo, and that's bold and steady. And I can't even start without crying. I feel like that boldness that you see in Debbie and that steadfastness that you see in Pop just combines for such a strong combination between the 2 of them.
Fireworks are constructed that, they're cylinders, they have the cone top. The thing at the bottom, the cylinder part at the bottom of a firework is called a stick. The stick is extremely important to the firework so that it shoots up and does what it's supposed to do. And I thought about, for our family, the stick would be our faith. But the really cool thing about a firework isn't the stick, it's not what you see, it's not the shoot up, it's when the explosion happens. And that to me is what legacy is. We each were sparked by their legacy in different ways, and then we go out into the world and make that sparkle. We have that explosion. That's a ripple effect, if you will, from the legacy of my parents.
But, first of all, there's a lot of things I can say about Deb that you guys already know. I mean, the kind of person she is, whatnot, and so forth. It was Deb that, I just have to give credit where credit's due. She's the one that, brought us full circle. There would be times when I'd wake up in the middle of the night and Deb's not there. I'm thinking, oh, something wrong. She's sick, not feeling good. And I'd find her. I said, Deb, what's wrong? She said, oh, I just woke up and so-and-so was on my mind. I just felt I had to pray for her. I said, really? And I said, okay, well, I'm going back to bed.
I love your love for me and your dedication to me. I think that if I wanted the moon and you could give it to me, you would. I know that. I love that you're my best friend and that you know me better than anyone else. I can go out sometimes and I can fool others with, whatever, but you know what? You always know when there's something bothering me. You know when something isn't right with me, and you get it every time. I guess that's what 50 years does for you. And mostly, I just love you, and you're definitely still the one.